Hi, welcome back. I'm Tom Burton, counselor and a musician. Um, I'm interviewing musicians from all over Canada to ask them how they're doing at this time in this pandemic, and if it's challenging, or what they're doing and what they're doing differently. Anyway, so today I have an old friend, Miriam Sonstenes. Yeah, I knew I'd mess it up, Miriam. So you tell me your last name.
Miriam Sonstenes.
Okay, I met Miriam in Victoria, 2009, at Kim Tipper Violins. We were both working there, fixing bows and that sort of thing. That was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
So welcome, Miriam. Great to have you. Would you tell us a bit about yourself and a little bit about your background and what you're doing musically?
Yeah, so I've been a professional musician for about 14 years, and I studied as a classical violinist, but I've been mostly playing fiddle music, bluegrass, old time, Western swing, that kind of stuff, the last 14 years, really, since I left university, and playing with lots of different bands, doing lots of touring, also teaching at a lot of summer camps, and also teaching full time at home. I have about 20 students a week.
Wow.
And yeah, so I've had a very, very busy kind of lead up to this shutdown now, and experiencing quite a dramatic change, definitely.
Yes.
Certainly around my touring and performing.
You had quite a few concerts lined up, I noticed.
I
All
did. I had a
canceled.
full summer lined up, maybe one of my busiest, because I'm playing with 3 different projects as well as other add-on projects. And also I had 4 camps lined up for this summer, starting in June, pretty much one every month. And everything's been canceled. Yeah.
How did you feel about that? What was that like for you to have all the concerts canceled?
Well, I mean, at first it was just hard to believe and really frustrating, because, so much planning goes into scheduling, and especially when you're in more than one group.
Yeah.
You have to be so meticulous about the scheduling and the overlap and all the travel plans. And so we'd already planned this stuff months ago. Even last year, we were setting up this whole year. So that was very disappointing and continues to be, but I'm accepting it now because, of course, it's just the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to focus on other things and actually kind of enjoying this time.
What are you focusing on? Tell us something about that.
Well, I'm still teaching. All of my students have moved to online lessons, and that's working really well. And along with that, I'm also transcribing a lot of my lessons, and a lot of the music that I usually hand out in person. I'm doing all of that, transcribing and emailing now. And that's been really great, actually, for my own music library and my teaching library. And I think I'm going to be publishing a method book at some point down the road.
Cool.
I'm also just about to release a book of original fiddle tunes that it's been on the back burner for years, and I'm really excited about that. It's almost finished. It's 10 or 12 of my original tunes, and I've always wanted to do that. My students have been demanding it for years, and so now finally that's going to be finished.
Oh, great. So because you have a bit more time now, you can do these things that you've been wanting to do for quite some time.
Yeah.
That's great. And then I saw you on Facebook, live concert. That was wonderful. What was that like for you?
Well, that came out of watching other people starting to do online shows, and I was very conflicted about it at first. I was very nervous, mainly about the tech side of things. And I'd never done a solo show ever, not counting my violin recitals. So I kind of decided to do that, and I've just been really overwhelmed by the response. And that tells me, that people are needing music and wanting to watch shows, even in this kind of compromised way. And that's been really amazing. And I've planned another one with my partner in May. So now we have something to focus on, something to practice for, because of course having no gigs is really hard for motivation and, Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So you've had some challenges, mostly around loss of the concerts, but you sounds like you're doing fairly well with filling your time with new projects and things you've been wanting to do for some time.
Yeah, and it's a shift because yes, I have more time to catch up with these things I haven't, that have been on the back burner. But of course, I've also had a massive loss of income because so much of my income in the spring and summer, especially, are from live performance.
Mm.
And so right now I'm doing okay, but it's really strange to think what it's going to look like in a couple of months and how I can sustain what I do if this continues much longer, or there's different waves of it, or yeah. So that's definitely a bit more of a scary point.
A bit scary.
I don't have to think about too much, but it's a real reality
Yeah.
for all performing musicians.
And are you staying in touch with your musician bands and your colleagues through Zoom, I guess?
Yeah, we are definitely, but I think everybody's taking a bit of time off right now, and I think that shows, how hard we all work all the time. When you're a self-produced musician, when you're not on the gig, you're promoting the gig and you're updating your website, and it's just sort of endless. And so everybody is definitely kind of taking a step back and needing to do that right now. And that's also, I think, been really good.
Right.
And I feel like I've had more contact with my family, actually, my immediate family, and also, other relatives, and long phone chats, which, normally wouldn't happen in my day-to-day, week-to-week kind of regular life. And that's been a really wonderful part of, just having that redirected focus.
Yeah, focus on what's the other things that are very important in our lives. Yeah, very good. Is there anything else you want to say before we end the interview today that you want to pass on to people, or something about yourself?
Well, I think my own experience through this has been probably typical of most people's, the initial sort of shock and darkness, and then starting to see the silver linings that are everywhere all the time, but hard to see sometimes. So I feel like I'm in that phase now where I'm really so excited about the time that I have and really taking advantage of that. And, I want to thank you for starting this channel and interviewing musicians, because I think it's so important, us not having the kind of contact we normally do when we see each other at festivals and camps and things. That's hard on us because we need to have dialogue about how we're running our business, how we're surviving as musicians. It's hard enough as it is. So, I watched a couple of your interviews and I found it really helpful just to see what other people are doing and going through. And so thanks for
thanks for the feedback. That was why I'm doing it. And you reminded me, I'm running a free online workshop for any musicians, May 16th, on Zoom to share and talk about these experiences. So just have a look at my website if you're interested in joining us. It'd be great to see you. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today, Miriam.
Thanks, Tom.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.